Hi, my astrology family. We're in the thick of it. Are you feeling it? The push and pull. It's getting quite intense. And this week, what is it? The week from the something, the middle of June to around the 23rd of June. So it's going to be quite intense because we're going to have like a tug of war, planets in one side in Capricorn and planets on the other side in Cancer, pushing and pulling. And whatever these two signs are falling in your horoscope, that area of your horoscope will experience some challenges, some triggers, but also tremendous growth possible because the nodes of the moon are involved, as we call them, Keto and Drago. Drago. Ketu and Rahu are involved in this powerful opposition that is happening currently. And Ketu wants to introduce something, to remove something out from our life, while Rahu wants to introduce something new into our life. And we're going to see how it's going to play for each of the 12 signs, this push and pull, and which is going to overcome. And what to expect. And I'll warn you what areas of your life will be most stressful, most sensitive. So you're prepared for this week. This week from the, what is it, from the 17th till the 23rd, is it? Something like that, of June. And of course, on the 17th, there is a full moon in Gemini as well. And I guess most astrologers will talk about it, but I think the real action is happening in Cancer and Capricorn, in releasing out and welcoming in. And we're going to speak mostly about that. And of course, this full moon in Gemini, it's a positive one because it's with Jupiter. So full moons are about realizing something. It's about some illumination that comes to you, an answer that comes to you, a solution that comes to you, and Jupiter will help that. So we're going to speak about each of the 12 signs, how this full moon, how it can give some answer and illumination to you in an easy way. And mostly like a teacher, like an advice it's going to come, or like a sudden realization, because Jupiter rules higher wisdom and knowledge, rules advice from the messages from the angels, from your higher self, your intuition. So you might have some intuitive insights that lead you in the right direction, something that we call luck, almost, that you're at the right place at the right time, you meet the right teacher, the right information that helps you resolve some complicated matter in your life, because full moons are about completion, ending of something, seeing results. Also, some of us will be seeing some quite good results and quite blissful results. Jupiter is there, according to efforts that we've made in that house. So before I start with the 12 with all the 12 signs, I wanted to quickly announce that I'm selling my 12 house webinars, which is about 60 hours of what planets in houses are, of what having rulers in different houses, the rule of the first and the 10th, the rule of the 10th and the 12th. You can, what they mean, the practical meaning of those things. I'm making a discount just for this week because it's a week of full moon in Sagittarius, which is about knowledge and wisdom and learning things. So Jupiter is this planet of wisdom. So I want to give people that want to learn astrology the opportunity to take this foundational course, and it's usually $300. I'm going to be selling it for $200 only for a week. If you want to learn with me, I don't think I've seen more in-depth course on houses anywhere else, and I've had about 1,000 of those courses sold with not a single return. So I think it's quite good. And once you take this course, you can actually start doing horoscopes for people and for yourself. And also, we're doing with Victor astro gliding into your sex and love life, and it's $69. That's his idea. In July, come and join us. We're going to reveal the secrets of sexuality. What is the chemistry? What creates chemistry in synastry? What are your sexual preferences, blockages, how to overcome them? Oh, sorry about that. Just a second. Of course. And sorry, I'm in my beach wear. So let's start with the 12 signs. Yes, and the course with Victor is $69. Then it becomes $96. So if you join us early, it's 30% off. And I'll put links for them here. let's start with Aries. How is this really peak moment now, this in the middle of June, going to affect you? So I'm going to speak uh, with the two opposite signs, Aries and Libra. So I'm going to speak together first about both Aries and Libra, because Cancer and Capricorn in their horoscope are being triggered. This is the fourth and the 10th house. So you're going to feel, if you're Aries rising, Aries sun or moon, or Libra rising or Libra sun or moon, you're going to feel push and pull. And you're already feeling it because it's happening already. But it continues this week. And opposition between planets means you have to make some compromise, because everyone is pulling towards their direction. It can feel like you're stuck, like an impasse. Because we have very powerful planets on both ends of this tug of war, and none of them wants to compromise. So you feel, Libras and Aries, that your attention is being pulled into direction. You might feel like stuck. What do I do? Your family and your public responsibilities. There can be some stressful situations there. They can be the need to make a compromise to please both, or the need to kind of choose which is the more important one for you. But there is tension here also with authority figures. That can happen, something at your work or your boss, or worldly responsibilities and career might be affecting your family. And I know I'm doing a retreat, I'm an Aries. I'm doing a retreat that time, and my family are supposed to be here with the babies, and I'm supposed to work 15 hours a day and then help with the babies. So that there'll be a lot of push and pull there, and having to make a compromise. So there will be some stresses. Maybe they have already started in your career and personal life. It might have to do something with property, might have to do something with family, and that's and stressing something about your social status, about your public situation, about your career and responsibility. So how are you going to resolve that? And specifically for Aries now, it's something that they have to release in regards to their career. They have responsibilities there, but there is something that it's almost like they can complete some responsibility there, because the South Node, which is ending, releasing, letting go, is there with Saturn in the 10th house. And Saturn, it is some heavy responsibility, public responsibility, but it's coming to an end. It's culminating, or it's completing in some way. And you can leave it after that. You can let it go. Um, you can be done with it. But at the same time, something new wants to manifest in your personal life, because Rahu with Mercury and Mars are there in the fourth house. It might be something new in property, in your family, some new endeavor that you do with them, or some new level of communication with them. And Mars is about taking new action. Mercury is about researching new options. And Rahu is about something new, something different. So when it comes to your personal, private life, family, childcare, property, research, study, look at something new that you can incorporate and act on it. But there is a possibility for more fights with your family, with your loved ones, because Mars and Mercury are conjoining this week in your fourth house areas. So definitely some sharp words can be exchanged with loved ones. It's good to do some physical thing together, to organize some activity with your family, so you can channel this energy in that direction, rather than with fights. So people that you live with, to do some DIY around the house, to fix things, to look at new places, to move on, to do some activity, organize something for this energy. But definitely, otherwise there can be tension and some fights. While for Libras, Capricorn and the South Node is going to be in their fourth house. And so they might be completing something in their family. There might be some responsibility that's ending and that they're going to be relieved from. But again, it's still requiring their attention there. Now, there might be some structures or rules or paradigms that are leaving the family and the personal life, something connected with emotional hurt and harm, and resentment that's been held, that can be released through Ketu, that can be relieved. There's still those responsibilities, but they're going away, but they can be again push and pull between personal and family life. While you need to incorporate something new in your public image, to put more attention into your career. Maybe there will be an opportunity for you, Libra, for a new social standing, to be seen by the public in a different light. You might be required to be more in the public light now, with Rahu, Mars, and Mercury there. There might be some confrontations with authority figures. Mars and Mercury are getting conjuncted in your 10th house, and there might be some um, the requirement to start something new, like a new career project, a new career direction even. But the best way to act for you, Libras, is to research. Mercury is to research, to study something new, to examine your options and to act on them, because Mars is there. And of course, Rahu is something new. So examine, look around, strategize. Mercury is examine, Mars is strategize, create a strategy like a military guy, like a, like a, what's that called? Like a sergeant or whatever. It's no, captain of an army. I forgot how it's called, and act on it. And there will be new opportunities that will appear, but there will be chaos. Rahu is there. There will be, while the layers are adjusting with those new things that are coming in, there is some chaos. There are some surprises, and things are not fully predictable. And as I said, there might be some stresses, nervous tension. Mercury is nerves, communication, that sharp words exchange. Mars, that are connected to your career, to your public image. You might have to stand for yourself, to fight for something in regards to your public image. And at the same time, the full moon, which is quite positive, is with Jupiter. Some wisdom can come to you. Let's go back to Aries now. I'm doing them in pairs. I know this might be a bit upsetting for you, that you have to go back and forth. But Aries, the full moon for you is going to be in your 9th house. So you can shine in some 9th house area of teaching, of giving wisdom, receiving or giving wisdom. A teacher can come to you that brings amazing wisdom that you've earned. Almost it's like God's blessing for you, because some piece of wisdom can come to you, some piece of information, something that shifts your consciousness, that inspires you, or you can be inspirational to others, which is great. Actually, that's the week I'm doing the seminar. Good. I'm glad that I do those videos, because I don't look at my personal transits and weekly horoscopes. I just never have time. And when I do them, I'm like, oh my God, astrology works so well. Also, some opportunity, something can be completed, or some opportunity can come in regards to travel, in regards to higher education, to expanding your mind, to learning, and it will click for you, and it will make sense, and it will inspire you, and it will give you a vision for the future that will make sense. All right, if you're Libra, the full moon is giving positive results in your 3rd house. Some important piece of information can come, some positive communication. It can be completion or culmination of some business project or business exchange, like signing of some document. There'll be a lot of focus for the next 2 weeks on creating contacts, on basically, maybe you've been working on creating some event or meeting people of some sort, and now it comes together, some small group activity, some business commercial activity. There is a lot of communication. That's positive. It's mind expanding. There is a lot of even short travels that can happen for you in the next week. And it put focus on communication, on information, on media, on marketing, on business, on contacts, on networking, on learning something new, on sharing with others, groups of people. Maybe some culmination, something positive through siblings, to relatives, to teammates, workmates, people in your environment. All right. If you are the next pair of groups, Taurus and Scorpio. Okay, let's start with Taurus and Scorpio. Well, let's speak a little bit about both. Well, the push and pull between Saturn and South Node, and Mercury, Mars, and Rahu, the North Node, in Capricorn and Cancer, is going to be in your, what is it, 5th? Is it 5th? No, in your 9th. So yeah, if you're Taurus, it's going to be in your 9th and in your 3rd houses. And if you're Scorpio, it's going to be again in your 9th or 3rd houses, but reversed. So you can find tension in those 2 areas of your life for the next week. It might be happening already. And 9th and 3rd house are about your opinion and others' opinion. So be careful, Taurus and Scorpio. There can be clash of opinions. People that are being very stubborn in their opinions, or you're being very stubborn and someone else wants to bring some new opinions into your life. Or the other way, it might be flipped. You might be trying to introduce some new opinions and points of view and information, and someone might be resisting it. That's an opposition to resisting. You might feel stuck and they're saying this is bullshit. or and particularly very likely for because uh, it's kind of who, I don't know on which side you are going to be. It might be flipped. Are you the one that is the Saturnian influence? Are you Scorpio or Taurus? Are you the one that is holding on to some old opinions of how things are done, worldviews, and you're being challenged by someone else in the face of Rahu from Cancer there with Mercury and Mars to trying to challenge it, and they might say some painful and hurtful words that shake up your stability, Saturn in the south now, that make you feel like your beliefs are outdated, or how you're doing things are outdated, how you're perceiving them, and you have to let them go because Saturn is with Ketu. Actually, Ketu will help you release some old beliefs of how things should be done, or what is true, or what is right. So this is tremendously powerful time to shift your belief systems, to shift, and actually someone else comes to challenge you. Someone else comes and you might actually feel aggravated. You might be like, this is bullshit, I'm upset. Like often I see when I introduce new teachers, especially when they're more extreme and they hurt people when they put their finger in the place that hurt for a person, like Natalia that I introduced, people would immediately be like, bitch, bullshit, this is ridiculous. And and I notice that usually those people that react like that, not always, but often, this is exactly the issue that she's talking about. And I've noticed it with me, with clients as well. So when you're being challenged, when your beliefs and your worldview, you're being taken out of your comfort zone, the beliefs and worldview is the Saturn in the ninth house for you if you're Taurus, uh, or your opinions if you're Scorpio, it's your opinions as well, it's in the third house. So if you're being challenged, we resist, we try to shut down and to clamp and resent, and be judgmental. But something is challenging your opinions and the way you see the world, the way you communicate, whether you're Taurus or Scorpio, it can be either way. And it's new way of seeing reality, it's new way of someone else is sharing the ideas that can stress you. And at the same way though, it can be flipped. You might be the one that something new is coming into your, you're seeing things in a different light and you're communicating them to other people, Taurus or uh, Scorpio, I'm talking to you, and you're seeing resistance from someone old school, someone who thinks in a very limited way, Saturn, in the houses of opinion and beliefs, uh, and someone who, you have to almost forcefully convince, Mars and Mercury with Rahu in the other house of opinion and beliefs. So there will be this kind of clash of opinions. And let's see specifically, and for Taurus in particular, you have to be open to listen to the ideas that are given to you from other people. Rahu, Mars, and Mercury are going to be in your third house, which is the information you receive from others. The exchange, what they tell you, the advice they tell, advice or whatever, the new skills. So you have to be open for new skills, Taurus, and you have to be willing to let go of an outdated beliefs that you have that define you about the future. It might require you to abandon a certain sort of direction in life, like certain type of studies, certain types of beliefs, or teachers even. I've had people that were Taurus and they come to me and they say, I'm disappointed in you as a teacher. And it's currently happening for many Taurus rising sun or moon. The Saturn and the South Node is in their ninth house. If you have Taurus strong, you might have a disappointment with certain teachers, and maybe they're no longer the right ones for you. Their outlook, their worldview. So you have to let go of certain beliefs and ideologies and to listen for new ones, to be open for new people appearing, Rahu, Mars, Mercury, to learn new skills, to travel a little bit, third house, to experiment with new ways of doing things. The third house is to go and play and try things, to get your hands dirty rather than philosophize, try to make large plans for the future, which is Saturn ninth house. Just jump there and try playing with new tools, learn new things. You might be challenged to learn something new, go for it. This is the right path. But don't forget that there will be someone you might be fighting more with, relatives, siblings, co-workers, teammates, because of Rahu and Mars and Mercury in the third house. Communication devices like phones, like transportation plans and things like that. They can be out of whack. They can be surprising, because Rahu brings an element of unruliness and surprise while things are changing there, to take you out of a comfort zone, how you think, basically. So if you always take the same route to work, something might happen now that you can't anymore. So it makes you think of almost like you're not autopilot anymore, and you learn new skills, and you have to, you have to experiment with different routes. You have to experiment with different ways of doing something, whether it's third house rules or skills, mental, emotion, that we use, so you might be challenged to introduce, for example, new techniques into your work, new techniques of training, and take some course and things like that. That's why maybe our courses with Victor. And you might feel that the environment around you, there are more stressful people that are more opinionated, but that's what has to happen. And at the same time, there is full moon for you, Taurus, in your eighth house, which means that something good can come to you from another person as a help. Eighth house is resources from others. You can receive, for example, a completion. You can receive like an alimony. You've been expecting money from a bank or a loan of some sort, or support for your business, or some investment, some tax refund, or I don't know, something like that, or some money from a business partner, for example. And there can be a culmination, more intimacy in your life on a deeper sexual level. There can be some kind of insight that comes to you, that releases you from some sexual blockage, that releases you from some trauma that has been in your subconscious, that has been blocking you from transforming your consciousness, and from because eighth house, the house of transformation, and that's where, if we have traumas, we can't transform because we're stuck there in the pain body. So this full moon in Sagittarius with Jupiter can definitely release you from some blockage, psychologically, sexually, emotionally. There can be some sexual healing. I've been seeing a lot of Taurus rising or Sun and Moon people at the same time, meeting powerful sexual partners. Powerful in a way, they're powerfully healing for them, and deep sensual bondings. Actually, it didn't happen for them when Jupiter was transiting the seventh house. It happened now. It's happening a lot when Jupiter is transiting the eighth house of deep sexual bonding. So let's see this. This is one time of the year when this can happen more than ever for you now, Taurus, in the next few weeks, to this kind of uh, tantric connection with someone, or opening yourself emotionally towards someone on a deeper level, and having sexual healing. There is such a thing. I didn't believe it. I thought it was bullshit, but there is. When you're in love and connected on a deep level with someone, this is the house of sex and transformation. They knew it for some reason, that deep sexual connection with a person, not just for bam, 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 but when it's like alchemical, can move blockages and can transform your traumas and release the pain body. And that's why astrologers gave it the same house, the house of psychological healing and the house of sex. All right, so there is an activation for you, Taurus, in that. Let's look at Scorpio more deeply. Scorpios, for you, Saturn is in the third house. So you might feel that some of your colleagues, relatives, siblings, kin, everyday people that you meet, friends, are being very stubborn. They're being very, uncooperative. That they're kind of, and that they're clashing with your beliefs, and you're developing some new beliefs and way of seeing the world, which is Rahu currently with Mars and Mercury. Mars is joining Mercury, and you'll be willing to fight for your beliefs. You'll be willing to impose them on others and to break the stagnation of those around you in your everyday environment. Actually, you'll be filled much more pulled towards new contacts with people that are far away from you, foreigners, or people from different social circles that are not familiar for you, unknown people, strangers. It's not necessarily just foreigners. These are strangers, people that you haven't communicated with before. You'll be pushed, you'll have a drive and desire to connect more with such people than with your local environment that you meet every day and that you're painfully familiar with, because they almost feel like pain in the butt. They almost feel like they're your constipation, that they're a butt plug for you right now. Oh my God, I'm becoming vulgar. This is Mars conjunct Mercury, guys. That's why I'm using so many vulgar words. They've been together they're close now, and Mercury's communication, Mars, is to be vulgar and sexual. So sorry if my mind is working like that, but you Scorpio, you understand. You naturally have this dark side in you, this vulgar side that I adore. Um, so Saturn, and so you might actually be challenged. This push and pull between you. You're developing new beliefs. You want to move and expand yourself, spread your wings, and you're willing to fight with Mars and Mercury. Then to experiment, to search for new belief systems. Mercury, to experiment, to search, to research, to speak your truth, to fight for it. To act on new beliefs. Very and Rahu there, new opportunities will come to you for that. And of course, your everyday environment is like, don't go there, you're being ridiculous. So you might have to, because Ketu is with Saturn, release some of those contacts, let go of some friends, connections, associates, people that are familiar to you in your everyday environment, or just kind of distance yourself from them, but keep a detached attitude towards those, because their Saturn is with Ketu. We have to be detached, whatever Saturn and Ketu is, not to take things too personally. And then you can move towards this new horizons that are triggered in your ninth house, to study something new, to expand your consciousness. So, and by the way, if you want to study with us, astrogliding for you Scorpio, astrogliding into your sex and love life, it's $69 with me and Victor. In July, it's $30 off if you order it now. Expansion of consciousness through seeing sexual blockages, sexual preferences, what will be your best sexual combination, and compatibility with another person, what to look for. So join us on that, or take my course, 12 Houses, Secrets of the 12 Houses, which is $100 off. It's usually $300, now it's $200. Foundational course, and you'll know on astrology as a pro. All right, so what is happening as well, you might have to let go. You might be completing this Saturn with South Node in the third house. You might have to let go of certain way of doing things, certain techniques, certain ways that you've used, like software, and you might lose phones. You might lose something connected to information, emails, laptops can break. Be careful. For Saturn, for Scorpio and Taurus, this is the most dangerous, that information devices can be lost, broken, tensions and arguments with others on opinions. But for you Scorpio, an opportunity can appear for you to travel somewhere, to explore something new, to connect to new people, to expand your consciousness, to take crash courses and study. The full moon for you Scorpio is happening in your second house, so you can receive some material results. You can see the results of efforts that you've been doing. Are they bringing you material rewards? I think it will be more rewarding than not, because Jupiter is there. Or it will, if it's not bringing material rewards, tangible, it will bring you some insight. Jupiter is wisdom, knowledge, understanding, that gives you like aha moment, and allows you to create a new target, long-term target. Sagittarius is the new moon in full moon in Sagittarius, that some kind of allows you to see the mistakes that you've been doing financially, and to reprogram your mind in regards to resources and finance. By the way, Scorpio, we're doing a money marathon the whole of July, so that might be a good time, because from the 17th now till the next full moon, there's a lot of focus on manifesting materially and shifting your wisdom and consciousness, because it's Sagittarius, your higher mind, and your beliefs about money and resources. So if you want to join the money marathon, it goes from the 17th to 199. Now it's 129. So a whole month of daily videos that we send you, and exercises you have to do that reprogram your mind about money and how to attract money. So this is what can happen. You can manifest something material. Now let's see the other pair. This is Gemini and Sagittarius. All right. So for you, Gemini and Sagittarius, what is happening? Well, the South, no, the push and pull between the planets, Saturn with South Node, and Rahu, Mercury, and Mars, is happening in your second and eighth houses. So you can find yourself, both if you're Gemini or Sagittarius, having clashes or opposition, not seeing eye to eye, like a standing against each other in regards to what's mine, what's yours. Do you give more? Do I take more? They're like, I give you more love and affection, you're not giving me more. or I bring more money to the relationship. And it might be business partnership, friendship, personal relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, with other people, mine and yours, your resources, what I give, what you give, how much you receive, how much I receive. It can be how much I receive, emotions, feelings, you know, intimacy or resources, money. So expect some tension. There might be even something that happens, that there is some material and financial stresses that might be happening. They might not be directly connected to another person. It might be another institution or something like that, but you have to make some compromise with resources, money that you owe, money that's being owed to you, money from clients, money, something. It's material, it's about resources there. um, and there might be another clash which is on a less material level, but it's about second and eighth houses. What are my values and what I consider valuable, and what I consider valuable to invest my time, energy, efforts, feelings, whatever, and what another person considers is valuable. So you Sagittarius and Gemini, you're feeling this clash. Oh no, I like this more. Oh no, I don't like this more. This is like, oh, this is too crazy new, whatever. You might be on either side. You might be saying, oh, this is, you're challenging. This is like, oh, the clothes that you start wearing, I don't like them now, or the foods that you started cooking, oh, too adventurous for me. Or it might be the opposite. Your partner might be like, it's like, what is this now? Why are you experimenting with new things, with new style? Why are you experimenting? Was this crazy new thing that you're dressing like? What is this? Uh, Preferences, likings, what you like, what you prefer versus what they like and they prefer. So there, they can be this thing that you have to compromise and push and pull as well. Let's go specifically into each sign. Gemini, for you, the South Node with Saturn is in your eighth house. So you have to release, and you might find that the partner, eighth house is the partner's values, is the one that's being most stubborn and that's being like trying to resist you. While your changes, your tastes are shifting. You're shifting, some of you, how you eat, what food you eat. Some of you are shifting how you dress, what you find beautiful, what you find attractive, what you find valuable, how you make money, how you manifest, how you enjoy things around you with the five senses. This is shifting. Something new is coming. You want to experiment there. You might see your partner is resisting, and you might see your partner is like, it's being like stubborn and anal about it in some way. Sorry. Saturn conjunct South Node, but it's kind of, but also you might have to let go of something. You might have to let go of some resource that you are, because you are developing some new values, some new resources, some new self-sufficiency. The second house where Rahu, Mars, and Saturn are currently, Rahu, Mars, and Mercury is this house of your own resourcefulness. So you're developing some new own resourcefulness, some new ideas and desire to try out some new tastes, some new self-worth. Second house is self-worth. You're developing new self-worth. You're experimenting with such new things, and that can create resistance from another, uh, and that can also create that the universe relieves you and you have to let go of some sort of support that you're receiving from another, material, financial, emotional, that you've clinged on, or even sexual intimacy that you've received, that you might have to release it and let it go because you're developing your new resources and new self-worth about yourself. So new source of income can come for you as well. Well, the full moon for you is happening in your seventh house. At the same time, someone will be helpful for you. It might be a consultant, advisor, a partner, a relationship still. I know that the eighth house, other people's values that can clash. There might be some financial issues, the second eighth house that I said, but there is a shifting of layers there. Wow, the full moon in your seventh house can indicate that there'll be a lot of focus on relationships for sure. There can be someone that gives you very wise advice, someone who is like very uh, uh, who is like the fairy godmother for you now. Jupiter in Sagittarius, that gives wisdom, opportunity to you, allows you to experience an aha moment, uh, gives you a helping hand. They can be, some of you can manifest a relationship, Gemini, and that will be something. They can be a culmination of relationship taken to the next level. Some of you can receive a lot of help in some business partnership or relationship. Some of you can receive a culmination and flux and more of clients, for example, more a partnership of some sort if you're Gemini. So something from others or from the audience, from the public. Seventh house is a business house. like a business contract might be signed. Something good can come from there. While if you're Sagittarius, Saturn is in your second house. You might have to release some of your old, outdated possessions. Saturn with the South Node that's being challenged by Rahu, Mercury, and Mars in your eighth house. So yes, your values you might be clinging on to old values, sense of worth, self-worth, things that you consider valuable or things that you like, but actually someone else in your life is challenging and is trying you to consider their own and different values and resources of income as well, because they're the future. This is what Rahu is. They will bring more opportunities, and you have to be willing to research. Mercury is to research and to act on new resources that come to you from other sources, and not to be afraid to let go and not to cling to something, resources, possessions, and things that you've had for a long time. They actually need to shed those. Saturn is with the South Node in your second house, and there is an opportunity for you to open your mind in regards to resources and finances that might come to you from an institution, from another person, from a business partnership. This is the eighth house. And there might be, for you, Sagittarius, the opportunity to do sexual experimentations. The eighth house is the house of uh, sexuality and intimacy, and Mercury is to experiment with something, to research. Mars is to go and act on it. It's quite sexual. And Rahu is something new, something quite progressive, so there can be even unblocking of some sexual blockage or breakthrough there. Also, if you have some psychological trauma that you're stuck on, some new method can appear. You can study it and act on it, especially that's kind of psychological. It's transformative method. It acts on the feelings and emotions because it's in Cancer. This is happening. That allows you a breakthrough on a psychological and energetic level, because the eighth house is the house of transformation, that allows you to move to a new, to kind of a transformation. So working with a therapist, with an astrologer, eighth house rules astrologers, therapists, works, people that can give you some rewire, some kind of a mental switch in the head, psychological mental switch, that get to the experiment with new psychological methods, release methods, meditations, or transformation methods. Natalia is doing that. Check out her courses. She has revolutionary new methods. She uses only new, not old school psychology methods, and this is, you have to experiment with new methods of transformation, of shifting your mentalities, Sagittarius, and they can be releasing. When you are doing that, the universe over the next few weeks or something is going to open an opportunity for you to start receiving from others. If you've been stuck in, for example, your husband never remembers to make you a present, or you put more than you receive in relationship or in business partnerships, or you're never given tips for what you do. The eighth house is how you can receive from others. And if there is some blockage there, usually it shows through sexual blockage as well. But if there is some blockage there, you can't receive easily from others, whether it's presents, whether it's something you haven't worked to that is given to you as money, whether it's someone coming with a proposition for you and they're bringing you money. They're bringing you opportunities, their own resources, rather than you having to do. And you have to let go now. Sagittarius always trying to do everything alone, and to open yourself to what you can receive from outside. So if you take some course, some new methods to, of healing about such blockages. We're doing a money marathon for a whole month. It takes 30 days to create new connections in the brain and to transform the brain. That's why it's every day, short videos of a few minutes, and exercise that you have to do daily that will shape shift your mind. In regards to resources, the ability to receive resources in abundance. So check that money marathon on the 17th of June. It climbs up to $199. Before that is $129. But you can attend the first week for free of the webinar. If you like it, you buy it after that, the next 3 weeks. All right, and the full moon for you, Sagittarius, is happening in your sign. You'll be a center of attention the next week or two. You'll be asked to share your wisdom, because Sagittarius is about wisdom. You might, be on your high horse, but there the spotlight is on you. It's like a projector, the full moon. You're on a stage. So you'll be a central figure in something. So it's fantastic time around Monday and the days after that. If you're required to do a presentation, to have the spotlight on you, if you're required to, the whole week actually ahead, to start uh, to see the accolades, to receive, focus on you of some sort. It's going to come. And also, you're going to be able to see the results of something that you started a few months ago, or to see what is not working, then to receive an advice or sudden illumination within what to shift so for it to start working. Because full moons in our signs always are almost like a checkup for what happened in the last 6 months, because there was a new moon 6 months ago for you. So in that period, within 6 months, you started something new. Whatever new you started, now you reevaluate it with this full moon. You see the first results with it. You see the first crop of it. The full moon is kind of seeing the results of something, and you can basically gather the crop. Or if you see that the results are not so good, Jupiter now there with the full moon will give you the right insight and plan. Sagittarius used to have a goal, plan, where to aim that arrow in the long term, how to shift things so you get results. Quite intuitive you'll become as well, quite sensitive as well. As I said, there might be power struggles with resources, finances, and those things, but all right. So the other pair of signs I wanted to cover is the next one is Cancer and Capricorn. They're in the thick of it. Cancer and Capricorn, you've been feeling it. All the cardinal signs actually, Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, they have been this opposition in the cardinal signs, especially Cancer, Capricorn, they've been feeling it. You might feel like you're almost, my husband is Cancer and he has planets in Capricorn. And it started already. We've been fighting, and we don't fight. We fight once a year. We don't fight. And for the last 2 days, we've been fighting, and we come together, we apologize, we cry a bit, and then like an hour or two later, we find a reason to fight again. It's kind of, and I don't usually react. I always apologize, so he has no reason to be upset. But I've been like, and he's been like, about things from the past and stupid things like that. And if you're Cancer, Capricorn, or Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, you're noticing that there's tensions between you and others, that others are pressing your buttons, that others are being, if you're Cancer, for example, you can notice that others are being stubborn. They're set in the past, because others are Capricorn currently, and Saturn is there with the South Node. Saturn and South Node have a connotation of the past, and that's what even we thought about with my husband. Because yesterday we had a couple of glasses of wine, and I started talking about past boyfriends and stuff, and he was like, he got upset. He was like, "Don't go there," and I was the one being Saturn. So if you're Cancer, your partners will be stuck on the past, so they'll be like, somehow they'll be being stubborn about something. They'll be being not compromising, let's say, because Saturn is like, I'm defending myself, and they'll locked up, and they'll lock up to you, and they'll, it's almost like you have to be the one that leads Cancer into communication, because Mercury is into your sign, and you will be more irritable to fight and argue as well, because Mars is there to say hurtful things. And I know when Cancer wants to say hurtful things, my God, don't they remember the smallest thing that's been told to them? They know how to say hurtful things to hurt, because there's very emotionally intelligent signs, so they know what emotionally will hurt a person. They know your weak spots. But be careful, try to count till 3 to 7 Cancers, because you'll be more explosive, more reactive. Your Rahu is in your sign as well. And you're especially being irritated by people that are being stubborn, business partners, relationship partners, or that are being judgmental, that are being distant. You might feel your partners are being more distant, more cold, more harsh, while you are having more passionate energy in you with Cancer, with Mars there. Your feelings are being bubbling all over the place. You having new desire. Rahu has been in your sign for quite a few months, but Rahu is about new desires, to experiment, to try new things. You're finding a new you. You're finding new self of you, and now you're willing to talk about it, to express it. Mercury and Mars, to go after it, to initiate those new you, and that can definitely trigger your more conservative partner, a partner who is if it's not conservative, your partner is used to you being a certain way, and they're acting like Saturn now, because they're like, I don't like this. It's like you're surprising me, but it's time for you to do those changes. And actually, there might be some fighting, but it's time for you to stand your ground, Mars, Rahu, and Saturn. But don't be vicious with your words. It's good to explore other ways of being, other ways to study, to experiment. This is Mercury, and to act on those, to be more initiative instead of sitting in your own emotional stew, of negativity. Go and be physical, Mars. Go be active, punch a bag, you know, go out, do something physical, go research, read something, Mercury. Um, do something unusual, Rahu as well. Do something, even something with foreigners, but you're take yourself out of your comfort zone. What will give you so much better results now is to be different, to study new things, to learn new things, to act on things, not to one step forward, two steps back. I'm not sure. Just go for it. I know there'll be resistance from others, but and they can be, but you're the innovator, you're leading the way. And if you want any change, you're the one that makes the step. And that's what happened. My husband came to me and kissed me and said, I'm sorry, I don't want to be like that. And he went out for a walk now. He's out. Hopefully not being tempted to buy cigarettes or something, but to release that tension. So you're the one that leads and initiates any changes now, Cancers. Well, for Capricorn might be, and by the way, for Cancers, for you, the full moon is happening in your sixth house. They can be powerful culminations in career, maybe some work project, some insights about your knowledge, some positive results about if you've been doing something, about some insights about your health. If you've been doing some treatment connected to health, to medication, you might see some positive results now with this full moon, or illumination and advice what exactly to do in regards to your health. You might feel more enthusiastic, and you'll be able to finally culminate and manifest some health routine or something like that, some health focus. But they can be also focused that you receive information and guidance about your health or certain health condition, or about certain work project, or about something connected to pets and animals. This is the sixth house, or connected to your employees. For example, your employees can bring a lot of wisdom now, or they can be quite a support, or they can help you. They can give some very great insights in regards to that. Sagittarius, full moon, Jupiter is there. And also they can be a culmination, like with job. You can receive a job if you've worked hard to get employed. For example, quite a few cancers can feel that something important connected to work can culminate now. If you've been working on some project, it can give results now, and you can see it, or you can expand somehow business or work. All right. And if you're Capricorn, you are required to shed an old skin. You're required to let go of something. You're required actually to make a bigger compromise, even though you might feel like you have to stick to the tried and tested others, partners, business, other people, in the face of, the seventh house of Cancer, where Mars, Mercury, and Rahu are challenging you to come out of your comfort zone. You might feel resistant at first with Saturn in your first house, not wanting to let go. But these people are charismatic, they're exciting, the people around you now, they're Rahuvian. They have a charisma, they have a foreign taste in them. They have a very unusual taste, they're not usual. They are more youthful in thinking, Mercury is there. They're more willing to take chances, to move forward, but to be more combative as well. Mars is there to fight, to challenge you, to give you the two fingers and say your ways are stupid. So watch out there. Watch out who is in your environment, what people, even if they're very stressful for you, even if they're kind of challenging you in some way and provoking you. Actually, they want to create an opportunity for you, even if it's in a negative way. Someone might make a negative and very hurtful remark. Mars is with Mercury, it can challenge you. They're actually trying to take you out of your comfort zone. Currently, you Capricorns are overcoming something that I call shedding of skin. Saturn is there, your planet is with South Node. South Node is the tail of the dragon, which excretes old karma. It's the tail of the dragon. We excrete, we shed the skin from there. So it's almost like you're wriggling out of old skin or out of a cocoon and trying to become this butterfly, but it feels like a sacrifice that has to be made. Some of you are thinking, no, I want my old skin. That's what define me. It's my shell, it's my protection. But you have to, and someone is taking you out of your comfort zone. It's challenging. It might be your marriage partner. There might be new things that are happening in the life of your marriage partner, and that they're more stressed and willing to bite and willing to, you know, challenge you as well. But that's, and it can be marriage partner, business partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, clients as well. But there is a lot of activity around those people, and they're trying to show you a better path. They're trying to show you a more progressive path. They're trying to get you interested, Mercury, and to act, Mars, in some new direction. And of course, the full moon for you, Capricorn, is happening in your 12th house. It's more like about releasing. Full moons is about completion of something. 12th house is about ending. So again, this full moon is really helping you on the subconscious level, which is the 12th house, to release some attachments that you've been tied to psychologically from past lifetimes already, or this lifetime, that you even they're tying your soul there. So this powerful moksha period, release period for you. So releasing, letting go of something, and spiritual insights can come. A spiritual teacher, guide can come. The 12th house is the guides, psychics, mediums, astrologers. You can receive a very correct insight now, because Jupiter is there. Jupiter is divine, so it's almost like divine blessings, like you've deserved now to receive the right psychic insight that can help you release you and can help you set you on the path, and to liberate. Your 12th house is the liberating house. They say it's prison, but it's also liberation from prison. So for you, Sagittarius, there is this powerful, Capricorn, this powerful liberation that's happening, and releasing of old patterns, and letting go of things that, and even in your dreams, something can appear, or psychic advice can come, or a dream, you can get an answer to a question in your dream, or in your mind. Your imagination will be very vivid for the next 2 weeks. Believe me, you'll get a lot of answers directly from your subconscious, like the angels are talking to you, your guides are talking to you. You might think it's your own thoughts, but they're coming as guidance from above. And even if you throw cards for you or something, you get very right insights this, if you do it especially on Monday. All right, and the last sign that we have, oh no, it's not last, is Aquarius and Leo. I need to go and get the chart. Sorry, guys. Here it is. I'm back. Oh. Yes. So the next pair is, who is that? Aquarius and Leo and Aquarius. So Capricorn, Cancer is happening, and I'm this person. I'm both Leo and Aquarius, Moon and Ascendant. So they're happening in our 12th and 6th house. So where can we see challenges that are happening in the next 1 week? They might have started already. For me, it's been definite. They might have started from the start of June, actually, because those planets have been there already. So it's just going to culminate. So there can be challenges with your health, for example, 6th house, and with your sleep as well. So some of you might have problems with sleep. Some of you might have mental imbalances. The 6th and the 12th house that are being triggered by that are quite hard. One is of hospitals, the other one is of health issues. So there can be some, and I've been having problems breathing and stuff like that, and with nerves as well. I've been having nervous tension a lot. So if you're Leo or Aquarius, watch out your health, especially when it's connected to Cancer and Capricorn health. So that can be something connected to Cancer is the stomach as well. As Aquarius and Leos, we have weakness there because Cancer falls in our 12th or 6th house, or Capricorn with bones, with ligaments, with connective tissues of sort. But it can be just some out of balance situation. And also there can be some push and pull between rest and work. The sixth house is work and responsibilities and things we have to slave for, our duties, errands that we have to run. So there might be a lot of that happening now, but at the same time there is a push from the 12th house that you also need to make a compromise and have more time for you to relax, to take it easy, to allow you to rest. This is the 12th house, to rest. So there is a push. Maybe you feel tired and you want to rest, but you can't because you have responsibilities. Or maybe you're so tired that you can't do your responsibilities as well, or something like that. Or maybe you have many responsibilities, but at the same time you're trying to, the best way of an opposition is to do a bit of both. So that's what I'm doing. I'm on the seaside here. I don't know if you see here through the window. So I'm working and resting at the same time. So you have to make some compromise, Leos and Aquarius. Otherwise, you can feel a lot of tension. Like you're being pulled towards work, but your body needs like to recover and to rest. You need to sleep. So both. So this is a peak time where you have to find a compromise for them. And on another level, there might be some problems with workmates, with work, with stuff like that, some stresses, and they continue. And next week, and there might be some problems with something happening behind the scenes because the 12th house is activated, something happening in foreign countries if you're traveling that is a bit more challenging as well, faraway places. Something that's might be destroying a little bit your peace of mind as well, which is a 12th house. But let's see specifically for you, if you're Leo, rising sun or moon, Cancer falls in your 12th house, while Capricorn falls in your 6th house, and these oppositions are happening there between 6th and 12th house. But Capricorn is where Saturn is. So Saturn is bringing responsibilities, but maybe even some health issues. But South Node is there, and it wants you to release certain responsibilities. If the Leo people, I know they have responsibilities, Saturn is there, but obviously some of them are coming to an end, or the universe is really asking you, stop trying to control and make things happen there. Like, because the 6th house is the house where we slave and try to use our logical mind to make things happen, use our efforts, The 12th house is let go and let go, because Rahu, the North Node, the path of that is best to follow for development and better results, and material developments, is in your 12th house currently, Leo, with Mars and Mercury. So being asked to research Mercury, other ways of taking it easy, relaxing, maybe study, read how to release, how to let go, because the answer for your problems now, the 6th house is problems, where Saturn is. Obviously, it's creating whatever it might be, health, psychological, emotional problems, even material, because 6th house is an earth house. It rules health problems, but it rules all kind of antagonisms, even work problems, material problems, debt. It rules all, it's kind of all the yucky things, the hard things in life. So whatever problems you have, it's almost you're being told now with the tug and war, release them. Release, let go of that. Don't try to fix them. Allow some higher consciousness. 12th house is God, the door to the invisible worlds, your guides, the destiny, whatever that's taking care of you, the lords of karma, those higher powers, the invisible worlds. Allow them to take you on a journey, because the more you try to make things with your own human mind to fix your problems, the problems are somewhere else. They're coming from the invisible world. They're coming from resources that you are not aware of. They'll come almost like those decisions. They'll not come from your struggling mind and trying to think a way out. Saturn in the 6th house, using the Virgo energy there. Let me try and figure out how to solve this problem. They'll come when you kind of like say, okay, I'm letting it go. I'm open to whatever comes. It will come to invisible sources, the 12th house. It will come from an advisor, psychic. The 12th house is psychics, astrologers, even you can call. We have psychics and astrologers. I always choose people that I trust a lot. I vet them. You can contact someone, but some breakthrough will come to you through such sources that you expected the least and that you are not aware of. Maybe through guides, through your dreams, but at the same time, you might feel kind of quite restless mentally, and you have to find the new ways, Rahu, Mercury, to relax, to take it easy. You have to focus yourself on relaxation, focus yourself actually on active relaxation, because Mars is there. You can relax fully, some kind of active relaxation, do some sports or walking around the water, but this is for relaxations. This is not for health. This is not for making you tight. This is what Mars in the 12th requires you is to do it for the psychological releasing, as a way to release, to rest, uh, and also delve yourself and merge yourself and deep dive yourself, if you're Aquarius, into 12th house is releasing. Try to release resistance. Try not to try and make things happen as you expect. It's not gonna, you're trying to control things with Saturn in your 6th house, Leo, currently. But it's Ketu is there. You have to release control there, how to be things according to specifically to your perfectionist method or whatever. Allow some chaos. The 12th house is chaotic, is the primordial soup, because something new will come from there. And you might have a lot of angry dreams, because Mars, Mercury can be there, like in your subconscious, that you're experiencing this new turbulent energy through angry, through kind of sexual dreams, or dreams that are kind of disturbing somehow. But also you might notice that you are uh, blocking, your kind of not blocking, but that you're um, how do I say, that you're, sorry, I lost my train of thought there, you see. It's you might feel like your energy is being a bit dissipated now, and you might feel subconscious anger, because the 12th house is subconscious, and you're irritable, but you don't know why, because the 12th house is something that you're not fully aware of. It's in the subconscious, and Mars and Mercury trigger it and Rahu, and you're like, why am I like that? Why am I, there's this irritable energy around me, and I don't know, and I'm ready to burst, but it's just trying to come out to the surface, some psychological releasing that is happening. And that can create a breakthrough in something that you attach. The 12th house is something that keeps us, that we're subconsciously stuck to. It's like an underwater stone for us. And there can be some breakthrough on a psychological, emotional level if you learn something, if you act on it. Mercury, learn, read, and suddenly realize something and act something new that can create a releasing of some psychological blockages that you have, especially self-sabotaging blockages, like like unhealthy habits and such. The 12th house is also the house of expenses. You might find yourself that there is more expenses, or you might find yourself with less energy. Mars is there currently. And you might feel that most of your energy is on some internal psychological level than on the physical, because of this Mars in the 12th, because then you might almost feel like, oh, you try and do something, but then your efforts go to the wind. So just, you have to still do the best that you can, and allow that the results, you do the best that you can, but don't expect that the results will be what you expected, and allow the results to manifest according to divine will. You might be surprised how things are actually better arranged. And that's funny, because that's exactly what's been happening. I had an idea how I want the seminar to be, the retreat, and I went there in the last few days, and I said, this is where we're going to have the party, this is where we're going to amphitheater this. And every time I went, I was like, there was some, I wanted it in my head in some way, which is Saturn, the 6th house. You have this plan already. And I would go there and I'll actually find a much better plan, and they offer me something else that I did not expect. So at the end I said, okay, I'm not going to try and control things, and I'm going to, obviously, up higher forces are arranging things in much better. So the plan is so much different than what I originally had for the retreat as ideas, parties, hanging out, restaurants and stuff. So I just started enjoying the ride of this 12th house influence. So I'm open to what the invisible world brings to me. I'm not trying to micromanage and control everything, and then it flows and you'll be surprised. And Mars in the 12th house is like, almost like when you make efforts, your method, they go wasted. But when you allow the things, you take the actions that according to what comes to you, rather than you going after what you want. All right. And it's good time for retreats if you're Leo, because your 12th house is very strongly activated, or travel in foreign places. But there might be, these foreign places can challenge you in some way as well. They can be chaotic or surprising, unexpected with Rahu there, and there might be the needs to quickly mobilize yourself, Mars, Mercury, to mobilize your mental skills and alertness, to come out of your comfort zone and learn something there, because it's more unusual situation. You have to learn new things, Mercury, Mars, to act on them, mobilize your resources. But that's your gate towards opening new doors for you, because Rahu is there as well. And also 12th house, of course, is gossip. So be careful. What can harm you is gossip behind the scenes, or what can harm you is if you get involved with some kind of behind the scene activities. But it can be good if you're doing something behind the scenes, if you're preparing something, you're preparing for something, you're doing there is like kind of a research period. 12th house is great for research, so fantastic week for research. On the same time, Aquarius, our 11th house is fantastically illuminated this week. Why is that? Sorry, not Aquarius, Leo. Our 5th house is going to be powerfully illuminated by the full moon in Sagittarius with Jupiter. So this is a very powerful trigger of your 5th house. You've had Jupiter there, so it's already triggered since last December. But now, this part of the year, for the next couple of weeks, is when something can really manifest there, because the full moon enhances that Jupiter, puts the spotlight there. So what is that? Romantic relationship, something important in a positive way, because Jupiter is there, don't forget, can happen. Some growth taken to the next level, meeting someone even, to manifest, to tangibly to meet a romantic partner. Something good with your children. Your children can be, something good can happen. They can complete something, they can graduate school, or they can make you proud in some way. They can, something good, opportunity can come to them, they can complete it, something good's happening there. Your 5th house is some creative project, something that you've raised like a baby, that you've cuddled, that you've nurtured. Now it can give its results. Some creative project that puts the spotlight on you, puts you on a center stage, and people admire your intelligence. The 5th house for us Leos is, for everyone, the 5th house is intelligence, and there is spotlight that somehow you shine with your creative intelligence, and overall with your intelligence and your ideas and your inspirations. You'd be like this shining light for others. So also some creative project might be giving a result for you. There's some activation there with creative project, with hobbies also. 5th house is to have fun. This can be a great time to have fun, to connect romantically with a partner. So yes, I've been having some issues there. So I'm really looking forward to this full moon, because it's going to put the focus on fun, on 5th house is the house of inspiration, to inspire others, to inspire yourself, to feel joy of life. So there will be expansion. There will be good parties that happen for you next week, for next 2 weeks. New romantic connection or interest from others. You can feel more flirty. You can feel more playful. You can feel more childlike, more creative. You can kind of, dazzle others with your intelligence. All right. But let's see if you're Aquarius. Aquarius, for us, the Capricorn is posing our 12th house. Wow. Cancer, where the pull and push, tug of war is happening, is in our 6th house. So what is it saying? Capricorn in the 12th house. It's the planet that rules us. It's kind of complicated situation. There's a lot of need that we need to compromise between rest and responsibilities. And I can't tell you which is the more important for you. For others, I can say, because Rahu always overpowers, because Rahu is the direction we have to move towards. But we're ruled as Aquarius by Saturn. It's in the 12th house. So we're asked to take a step back. We've been asked for a year or two already to take it, to learn to, we're in a completing phase, that we're ending things, we're releasing things, we're shedding a skin. Saturn is with Ketu very closely currently. It's been starting from April, May, June. It will continue till September. Some shedding of old habits, because it's in the 12th house, is old attachments that clinging on to. Saturn wants, like, I need my cigarettes, or I need my coffee, or I need this person, I can't live without them, or I'm I'm clinging to something because I don't know who I am without that thing. But South Node is like it's the planet of releasing, and it's been telling us, and the 12th house is release, let go of the things you're attached to. So we're going through a slow process, might feel painstaking, might take like a year to finally let go of those things that no longer serve us. And these are things that we're doing ourselves, because it's Saturn. These are things that not that others are doing to us. We are the ones that we're looking at our own behaviors, and we're releasing behaviors that are self-sabotaging, that we ourselves make. And it's good for you to be a bit retreated, but at the same time, this month in particular and this week, there is a lot that's required from us because of the strong activation in Cancer. A lot of responsibilities, a lot of things that require us to use our intelligence to plan, to organize. The sixth house, the house of Virgo. So to be on the ball, to be in control, to be using your mind when problems appear, to fix them, to be using your human experience to fix problems. Sixth house rules problems that appear in our everyday life. So a delay of something, a breakup of something, a change of plan. And Virgo is the best fixer of problems, diagnostic and fixer of problem. As I said, sixth house corresponds to Virgo energy, but it's in Cancer for us, Aquarius. So there's so many planets now there. Rahu, Mercury, the sun is going to join it from the 21st as well, 22nd. So there's a lot of energy for us to clean up our game for a little bit while we're in this process of shedding of Saturn in the 12th, of having to retreat, to relax. We have to mobilize just for a couple of weeks now, and it's been happening, our energies, and we have to focus on fixing problems. We have to focus on being more practical for a little bit. We have to focus the strategy now to focus more on fulfilling our responsibilities, on some work tasks, new work opportunities can appear, new responsibilities with and to do things in a different way. If you have employees, six houses employees, to experiment, to do things in a different way, to communicate with them more, to try new ways, of doing your work. Six houses also how you do your work, the techniques or whatever, the environment. So you're changing something there, you're shifting something there, and it's good. For a little bit, you have to come out of your retreat, Saturn in the 12th house, where you are shedding your skin, and kind of get mobilized and work with things, fix problems, be more organized, be on the ball. The funny thing is for me is that I have Leo and Aquarius, and which one do I do? Do I release and try not to control things, which Leo have to do for a little bit now, or the other? So sometimes a mind boggle. But at the end, when you have a bit of both Leo and Aquarius, and they're opposing, you find yourself at one moment doing one, at another the other. So we're multi-layered beings, and we're all bipolar. So yes, that's what's required from Aquarius, and to fix problems, to be on the ball. If you can find employees now to help you, to delegate to others. I'm not saying sixth house, the house of servants, but now again, someone who can help us help. This is the best answer for you now. Find someone to help you, delegate some of your work as well, but you have to dive into it as well. And also health. There is a focus. There might be some activations of health. And I think Aquarius are feeling lower energy than normal this year because of Saturn in the 12th house, just lower motivation levels to some extent, and it will continue for a bit longer. But now there is a strong focus that you have to change something in your health. Some new ideas will come, some new diet of way how you eat or drink, or how you do your posture. Read about it, experiment, and act on it. Mercury is experiment, learn, study. Mars is to act on it. So this can be a fantastic time to do some positive changes for your body. And I started working out. Who knows how long it will be, but I don't. But for health reasons now, because I just was not feeling well in my head, and I was like too stressed emotionally. I'm too stressed, and maybe Aquarius, a lot of you are feeling it with the 6th house, 12th house energy. There is nervous tension there, houses that can create out of balance situations in health as well. And some of you might have been feeling Mars is now 6th house, like sudden inflammatory conditions, nervous conditions, Mercury. maybe fighting with people in the office or work people, or stressful work conditions. You might have feel like sudden, like either fevers or high temperature, and also it's cancer, problems with tension in the stomach or problems with stomach. And I can tell you for sure, since Rahu entered the sixth house, gradually I've been having problems with the stomach area. And, and it's about time to do something about your stomach, the gut environment there, to change something in your food, or to introduce some probiotics, or to stop drinking fizzy water, something that irritates the stomach. Because now, in particular, while Mars is also there, it's really activating. And most of your problems, health problems that you're having currently, they're coming from your stomach, because cancer is activated. Cancer rules the stomach. It's in your sixth house of health problems. Mars, Mercury activated. It can trigger your nerves. It can trigger inflammatory conditions, sudden acute conditions, nervous tensions, a lot of those different, or even some weird things, and also it can be like a time when your stomach expands more, because Rahu has been in Cancer, which rules health problems for us and part of the body there. So it's, I'm not going to go too in depth, but if you fix something with your food there, with your exercise, now can be a great time. Otherwise, you can find yourself more stressed health wise. All right, so a lot of involvement with help, with work, with having to mobilize your energies to fix problems, to focus on health and improvement of your health. And your full moon, though, is fantastic because it happens in the 11th house. And this is a house we love as Aquarius, because we Aquarius are social beings, and the 11th house has the energy of Aquarius, though it falls in Sagittarius first. That's why Aquarius often love having foreign friends from all walks of life, because Sagittarius embraces everyone, So naturally Aquarius, because they have Sagittarius, they're like, oh, I'm friends with everyone and stuff. Well, there is a full moon there with Jupiter. This is fantastic weekend too, that you're gonna meet your tribe, that you can culminate, and that you can spend time with friends, that you can make some great friends. And funny enough, I'm doing this retreat camp for the first time. I'm gonna meet some of you. I'm gonna meet some amazing, my tribe, the 11th house, the full moon in the 11th house. Now you can meet amazing business partners. You can meet amazing people that you can collaborate on gainful things, that you can come up with ideas and you can network with, because the 11th house is one of the houses of business, but of networking and friends. So you can connect those three topics: business, networking, friends, financial opportunities and gains. This is what the new moon, the full moon, brings you. It's a culmination. It can bring more financial growth. You can bring if you have no friends, for example, it might be a time you meet a friend. It might be a time you're invited to a social place. Go for it. This is it comes. And financial increase can come. There is focus on socio-economic goals where you can create more financial gains for yourself for the future. So pay attention to those. All right, the last set of signs, Pisces and Virgo. The full moon, the Pisces and Virgo. So there is Cancer and Capricorn for Pisces and Virgo fall in your 5th and 11th houses. So you can find some tensions that are happening between between you affirming your ego and other people affirming their ego. 5th house is how you express yourself and how you express who you believe you are. 11th house is how others express who they believe they are. So there can be clash between you and friends or people, groups of people in some way that you notice push and pull there. Some, you might be challenged in your creative ideas, so you might challenge others on something that they create because it kind of does not jive well with your own kind of self-expression. But it's not a bad activation, actually. It's making sextiles and trines to your sign, Pisces and Virgos and Virgos. But let's do your sign by sign. Virgo. So this Capricorn with the South Node is making opposition with Mars, Mercury, and Rahu in your 11th house. So what is happening for you, Virgo? You're required to let go of certain attachments. It might be actually even you're required, and it's time for you to let go of some romantic relationship, 5th house, some attachment or way of doing romantic relationships, some way that you used to express yourself that you were stuck in, how you were doing romantic relationship, how you were giving and receiving love. You're excreting that. You are challenged by others to let it go, and actually friends appear in your life that are trying to pull you out of the stuck way how you're doing romantic relationship, or how you're connecting um, on the heart chakra level with another person, and they're trying to pull you out into more healthy expression. So for you in the current moment, it's best to go and try and spend more time with friends, where Rahu, Mercury, and Mars are to be active. Do something physically active with friends. Go trekking in the mountains, if you're Virgo. Go Virgo rising in particular, to a less degree Sun or Moon. Go do something physical. Take some courses or classes with your friends. The 11th house is your friends that you do with like-minded people. Mercury is to study, to research. Talk with them. Do something active with them. But be careful that they can trigger you. They can say things that hurt. They can say things that are supposed to slap you out of stupor. Mars and Mercury, they're not going to be very diplomatic. They're going to say what they think because they see you're doing this to yourself, girl, or whatever. Just snap out of it. They're trying to provoke you out of your comfort zone with maybe saying harsh words, but they might have some fights with friends because you're trying to stay in your comfort zone, where Saturn and Ketu are, which is like doing, having this blocked self-expression of love, blocked creativity, or blocks in regards to love, and how you respect yourself, and how you and that shows through your romantic life. If you respect yourself, you receive ovations from others, and the fifth house is to be centered to, so if you have some blockages there, maybe friends or groups of people like-minded, taking courses with like-minded people will bring you out of that. Now also, you might have to let go. For example, there might be a push and pull. Your boyfriend or girlfriend wants something, your friends want something. So for you Virgos and for Pisces, you can feel like, my boyfriend wants one thing, my loved ones or my children want one thing, my friends and my social life requires another thing from me. Which one should I do? Or I feel like doing this. Fifth house is like, this is what I like to do. This is what is fun for me. But my friends feel like doing that. And they can be push and pull. What do my friends want? What I actually want and consider fun. But I urge you to go towards your friends and go with them, because there is something new that waits for you there. Because if you stay with what you prefer and want to do, Saturn in the fifth house, you're gonna stuck in the same pattern, and you're gonna kind of feel like dissatisfied and empty, and like, I'm going in circles. Go with your friends, or go with social situation of some sort, even though it might be challenging, might be a bit more hard to do, it might be taking you out of your comfort zone. You win more if you do that. And you can create even some financial, you can create some benefactory contacts, beneficial contracts. They can give you some ideas that are social, that bring you more social and economic benefits of some sort as well. So, and you might be required to leave behind some creative projects, Saturn and Ketu in the fifth house, to leave behind a romantic relationship, to make a compromise with a romantic relationship and a partner, to actually now go with your friends rather than your boyfriend or girlfriend. Also, it's your children. Your children might be going through some period that requires them to release, and your children might be resisting something as well, that you can feel like they're resisting, they're fighting with something can be happening in their life. And you have to encourage them to explore other options rather than doing things in the same way they're used to. Encourage them to go to this 11th house, which is their 7th house. Go towards what someone else advised you. Go towards where something that's done differently, and some of you might find it, might have to let go of connection to a child, like they have to, and go and spend more time with friends. Maybe you have to disconnect a little bit from your responsibilities for children, your responsibilities for creative projects and stuff like that, and go and spend time with large groups of people. If you are and if you are Virgo, there is a lot of social activity, as I said, and possibility for material gains of sorts. But if you're willing to let go of something that you're holding to, like a creative project or way of self-expression of yours and way of behavior, because the fifth house is house of the self, how you are. So you have to let go of how you are for a little bit and listen and try and listen to others or try and incorporate, open your mind to others. While for you Virgos, the new moon with Jupiter is full moon in Sagittarius with Jupiter is happening in the fourth house. Your family mother can be source of more joy, can be source of some wisdom, uh, something you can complete something in your home. You can get an opportunity to move somewhere or to do something and it's going to be a good one. You can receive illumination or positive developments in regards to something connected to moving, to place of living, to property, to family, to mother, to home. All right, and if you're Pisces, the North Node with Mercury and Mars for you is happening to be in your fifth house, while the South Node and Ketu, which are making the opposition to all those planets, is happening in your 11th house. So again, there can be this push and pull between your loved ones, children, and your social life that is stressing. You might be fighting a bit, with such. You might consider that you want to develop a new ego, new self way of expression, which is where Rahu is with Mars and Mercury in the fifth house. But you're seeing resistance from your friends and your social environment, and they're not, or your social groups that you are. You're starting to express yourself in different ways, maybe more unusual kind of ways than other times, uh, in the more ways that put you in the center, that take attention away from them, and they might not like that. They might be resisting. But you will be the star this week and the next two and the next 10 days, basically. You're the star of your own show. Do the things that you feel like. Follow your own ego and desires rather than trying to please a large group of people. And if you're on some event with many people or staying with friends, you will be the one that should be the one that others gravitate towards, and you have interesting things to say them. You'll be active, and you'll have some breakthroughs. You're going to have some breakthroughs about your own ego and how you express yourself to create more self-confidence. You might be a little bit, others might find you a bit abrasive because Mercury and Mars are in your fifth house of Virgo and how you manifest it, but you need that fire to self-express and to start shining brighter. This fifth house to shine brighter, to be more unique, to be the center of attention. It's almost like others have to gravitate around you. Don't adjust yourself to others. Actually, if others don't like this new they'll be the Saturn. They'll be creating some irritations from you because they're like they might be critical, more judgmental. They might be like being stagnant. You might feel them distant. But don't forget, you're the queen, you're the king in this week while this is happening. But of course, this creating tension. Also, there can be a lot of focus on your children. There can be a lot of focus on having fun as well. Fifth house to shine, to party. But again, be careful because Mercury and Mars are there. There can be some sparks that are going off right and left. And of course, fifth house is romantic relationships. There can be some powerful activation for you, Pisces. It's Pisces, baby. It's the last time. We can go to the beach after. So it's going to be some activation there. There can be a romantic activation, but there can be sparks again going off. They can be, if it's new romantic relationship, it's very exciting. It can be quite sexual, and you're shining, you're being more witty, you communicate more. If it's a old one, there might be a bit of tensions there as well, but you have to focus on doing some romantic activities more. And definitely I want you to focus to have more fun. And this is the way to relieve the tension that's happening now, because the fifth house is the house of fun, and to use your intelligence will shine more now. And to actually, fifth house is also to learn. It's the house of being inspired as well, to learn new things. The first, fifth, and ninth is about learning new things and inspiration. So it's great for you in that direction. If you want to learn with us, astro gliding into sexual love and life, or the 12 houses webinar that it's $100 off just for a week that I've created of 60 hours. All right. Some new creative project can appear for you. You might be very busy working, Pisces, on some new creative project. Some ideas will be coming. They'll be like stones hitting you, because fifth house, the house of where we receive new ideas. our intelligence becomes more sparkly when it's activated. And again, this can be a reason for arguments with others. It can be a reason for you to feel nervous tension because of this influx of new ideas, because Mercury is a planet of nerves with Mars. But you're going to speak them, you're going to write them, you're going to start acting on them. And if a new partner romantically appears, this is someone younger and more youthful. This younger, youthful planets, Mars and Mercury, are activating. Or if it's not younger, they have this youthful spirit. They're kind of horny, they're witty, they're full of life. They're foreign. Rahu is there. They can be foreign, they can be different, So be open to those things and have more fun. Uh, all right, so what else? You have the full moon as well, Pisces, and the full moon is happening in your 10th house. Again, 10th house is very public house, and the full moon is like a projector. So something very important, but in a positive way, because the full moon is with Jupiter, and full moons are already beneficial. It's happening in regards to your career. It can be like finding a better job. It can be culmination. You can be completing a project that you get recognition for, or you can just something good develops at your work, or authority figure or a boss that offers you something within the next 2 weeks because of this new moon, and you can shine at your work. An opportunity appears. Again, as I said, if you're looking for new work or if you've been working something, results are coming. And also, this full moon can make you more visible in the public eye. Your reputation can grow in some way. You're just kind of again star of a show. You're shining there in some way, and you can be almost in a leading role, because the 10th house is a leadership, managing almost, but in very visible publicly role where you're giving advice to others, because it's Sagittarius, where you are being the wise person that others come to you for advice. Or you might, at 10th house is also authority people. Some authority figure like a boss can be benefactor, or mentor can give you some great advice or do something good for you. So there we have it. This is your week for you. And I'm planning of doing with Ksenia a video here from the seaside in Sozopol in Bulgaria for the eclipses. 12 videos for the 12 sign for the month of July. So hopefully we'll have time to do it, and that will be our project the week after next. So don't forget, my course, the 12 houses, is 30%, $100 off for just a week. It's 60 hours of undiluted pure astrology, very practical, not much psychological. What this position give? Saturn the 12th, cold feet. Jupiter in the 8th, larger penis. I'm gonna tell you such specific things there, that you can, we're not gonna be talking, psychologically, emotionally, we're gonna talk about that, but the 12 houses, secrets of the 12 houses, is a 60-hour webinar that I speak about very specific things, and that you can make. When you look at the chart, you can start telling them things that they're shocked. How did you know it? You have narrower hips, or you have this or that, or was your mom married to an engineer, and things like that. And I show you how to see those things, very simple. So thank you so much, and I would expect you to our new course with Victor Astro Gliding into your sex and love life, $69 in July. I love you guys. Enjoy the full moon.